Looks like we got quite a group joined on here, and I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Looks like our meeting is officially kicked off the recording side of it too, so I just wanted to kick things off and get going. So being towards the end of September here, we've seen some movement, and Dave, maybe you could fill us in a little bit. I know there's at least one group that's got to the NDA stage with first, so I didn't know if you could tell us if there's more than one that's gotten to that stage yet or not.
Yeah, so the process continues, to sell the mill. So we're working on that. There's a lot of work going on with that, including all weekend for me.
Yeah.
But and that's a good thing, and I'm glad for it. But I just ask everybody to understand. I know there's a lot of desire and want for information. I would just remind everybody that we are a publicly traded company, and so I just can't comment on any specifics to anything related to the process until we make that public. So I appreciate you understanding that. I know it's frustrating. I'd love to share whatever parts I do know, but I just can't. So I thank you for understanding that.
I appreciate that. I think, for the participants here and folks back in Rapids here, I think it's a sign of David's return that things are progressing. So we won't put him on the spot and make him answer towards that. But when you bring in the closer, it's a good deal. So just wanted to make sure that, we welcomed you back, and thanks for being a part of the process and helping us out here. So I won't make you put any more into that.
Absolutely.
Good. And then I see Dennis is on from Timber Professionals. Just wanted to check in with him. And I know, one of the things I just mentioned being with the NDA, stage right now, we're not going to be able to get a lot of information on that too, but I just wanted to see if there's any updates that Dennis could help give us from that perspective.
You can hear me okay, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, so yes, we do have the NDA in hand. We haven't signed it yet, but we're working on getting that back.
There's that truth up there. You must be having a meeting, huh?
We're working on our time at the same time, as Margaret well knows, trying to get that multi-stakeholder thing put together. We've contacted folks to join in with that multi-stakeholder, and we're working up with folks on procurement of product that we could make at the mill and that type of thing, a feasibility type work that we're
Sorry, I muted myself. Sorry about that.
Okay, we lost audio
now.
Dennis, you're muted.
It looks like he started the meeting, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get audio for you.
Oh.
Dennis,
hold on a second. Trying to figure out something here. I hear somebody in the background, and I see Dennis got muted somehow. I think maybe the host has muted him. So hang on one second. Sorry about that. All right, looks like we're back on, Dennis. Looks like you're good to go.
All right. Well, I don't know what you heard and what you didn't. But I don't know where to start myself.
Yeah, so I think where I kind of lost you was just working through developing a product.
Okay, so we're working with folks with that. We're trying to do that paralleling to. I know the biggest thing for us is getting this NDA signed, and so we can then get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on. And I think we're very close to having that done. We are anxious to get going at this. We know that for me, it's not a maybe, it's a must. It's not a when or it's not maybe or if this happens, it's when this happens for me. So I think that we're getting pieces pulled together here moving forward, and hopefully within the next week or so that we can see some major changes for the co-op and getting things pulled together. Kind of where we're at with that so far.
Huh. That's good.
No, I can't. I don't know what's going on.
There we go. All right.
Now we can hear them.
Yep. Got to remember to unmute myself sometimes. I'm usually the one in the front of the microphone instead of the one unmuting it. So thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that update. Wanted to also check in then. Maybe Jane, if you could unmute and maybe discuss with us a little bit what you know about TAA and where that application process might be, if you've heard anything.
We have not heard anything on the TAA. I did email Senator Baldwin's office to see if they could check on it for us. I've not heard back. So that's all I know about the TAA application. I have other updates to give you.
Please, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so our contracted provider, LETC, continues to see people. They have recorded the worker meeting so that they could have that as a virtual option. Also, as they're seeing people, they did promote the Heart of Wisconsin Job Fair, as well as promoting the Portage County Business Council Job Fair. So far, they have served 85 workers, and we have 57 of them enrolled, and they continue with enrollments weekly. The workers that we have set up for training, just some of the programs are CDL truck driving, electromechanical technician, surgical technician, welding, HVAC, business, nursing, heavy equipment operation, electrical power distribution,
Audio's coming in, but not,
radiography. So we're working with folks now would be more of like the spring start or January start for training. So again, they continue to see people kind of trickling in each week.
Should I get closer?
It's coming out of here is where it's coming out of.
I keep hearing somebody weighing in there, so I don't know who's having some problems with their video, but we hear you, whoever's trying to weigh in there. Thank you, Jane, for that update. Wanted to check in, not sure, I can't see all the participants, we got so many right here, but I wanted to check in, see if Heart of Wisconsin was available, either Krista or Angel, to maybe update us on how the job fair went and some of the numbers and things we had heard from there.
Hey Scott, it's Kristen.
Hey.
We had 120 participants come through. So I wasn't excited with the number, but then talking to the job center, they said that was and still people working, people that were still trying to decide if they're going to retire or not. We had some good reviews back from that. I have not seen the numbers of the virtual fair yet. I put an email in on that and I haven't seen that yet. So I'm working from home this week. But I would say overall, the vendors would have liked to see more participation, but they were happy with the results too. I mean, we had over 1,000 jobs that were for hiring. So I mean, there's plenty of jobs in the area if people want to go back to work right away.
That's a good message. And I know that, Senator Testa and I were making our rounds at the job fair too, talking to employers, not just locally here, but the ones regionally and out of state. And some of the feedback we got from them is that they had a lot of opportunities available, and some of them were people I'd never even actually heard of before. So it was nice to make those connections as we made it through the job fair. I didn't know if Senator Teston had any thoughts about job fair or any updates and anything else from his perspective.
Yeah, no, again, I thought the job fair was well organized. The feedback that we had gotten from other vendors, of course, we would like to see more people through the doors, but by and large, appreciate everyone's efforts there. Just curious if Todd Kukon's on the line, just curious how many for the job fair in Portage County coming up, how many vendors or employers we have lined up for that one.
For Portage County, I have not heard. Todd, are you on here? I know we saw an email that they had one premier stuff, so they're probably pretty full, but I haven't seen any more info on that one.
No, I'll double back with Todd today. I know he was pretty excited that we had made mention of it, at least in our agenda today. But yeah, there's another opportunity, another job fair coming up. I think it was the 28th, so Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll make sure we're promoting that too, and that'll be up on the Rapids Together website, and that we'll do some social media on that too to see if we can draw some more numbers that way. Hope some of those same employers were there to follow up with some of the employees. One of the things that I wanted to double back on, maybe with Krista, that maybe you could work on with Angel and other folks at the Heart. I've got a few individuals, and I know it's been a struggle, but I know Metalco made some really good connections, has done some interviews with folks, and some folks have been going, one interview, 2, 3 interviews, and just trying to get that final go ahead and okay from Metalco. So I just was hoping maybe the Heart could double back with Metalco at some point and just see how their hiring process is working for them, and if there's anything we can do to be helpful in directing people that way.
From what I understand, it's good. They actually hired, I think, most of the first round of people. They're training actually in Indiana right now. They're gone for 2 weeks at a time, home on a weekend, gone for 2 weeks at a time, and that goes till middle November. And I know there's quite a few of my friends from Verso that actually took a job there.
Good. Yeah, I knew there were some that were a lot closer than I thought, so that's good to hear that some have actually gotten to that point. So, Jane, I see Jane's got her hand up here. Jane, what do you got?
Oh, I just wanted to mention that on the 17th, we held a drive-through job fair in Wausau and actually had some Verso employees come up to that. They identified themselves, and so they really are looking at their options in the area.
Sounds good. Scott, I'll circle back with Metallico and then send you the info.
Well, that's great. That'd be cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I wanted to, and I see, as I go through the list, there's a lot of folks on today, so that's awesome. Thank you, everybody. I see Missy Hughes is here with us too, and I just wanted to say hi to Missy and see if we had any things as far as an update from WEDC, any activities from there.
Thanks, Scott. Hi, everybody. I think Stacy might have some updates on what we're doing as far as helping with the feasibility study, but I did want to mention that we spent some time with the investment banker that's assisting Verso to give him a landscape and information about possible assistance that WEDC could bring to the table if and when he's got somebody interested. And so, hopefully he's carrying that forward with any conversations that he's having. So I think that was a good briefing that we gave him, and we'll wait for some follow-up there.
That's awesome. If you have that chance to maybe double back offline with Senator Teston and myself and kind of fill us in a little bit on what those availabilities and options and opportunities might be, that would be awesome too if we could do that.
Sure.
Excellent. Stacy, I didn't know if you wanted to follow up on that if you're on.
Sure, absolutely. So we continue to meet with the co-op, with Dennis and with Henry, with Dawn, and are working through the details right now of topics like consultants and things like that. So basically, I'd say the team is ready to move forward as soon as the cooperative group is ready with those details to move forward towards a feasibility study. Additionally, I meet on a weekly or semi-weekly basis with the City of Rapids as well, just to make sure that those lines of communication are open, that we're all on the same page in support of each other and are ready to act with the most updated information when and if that need becomes acute.
Good. No, I appreciate that. I know the city does too. I think Mayor Blazer's on. Shane, are you there?
Thanks, Scott. Yes, I am.
So any concerns or problems or issues you're facing that we can maybe help out with from the city's perspective, or things that you have any interest in us pursuing further to help out?
No, I think everything's been moving along pretty good. We do appreciate our conversations with Stacy. On our Facebook page, we also submitted a TAA letter of support, and that was sent off in the last couple of weeks. Still continuously, probably daily, we hear from employees at Verso. They're contacting us to try to confirm rumors and not, and we're in the same boat. We only hear what we can hear through whereas we're not part of that process. So we're unable to confirm or deny, but I guess the conversations are good though.
No, that's good. I think that's a good segue into one of the topics I wanted to touch on today is that, Wisconsin Rapids has been a really good rumor mill for years and years, and we're famous for it. And we do hear lots of things pop up from time to time. And I know that there's been site visits, and I know that there's been folks who have been coming through, have shown some interest, and back channel communications with a lot of folks, whether it's from Moelis or talk to anybody at Moelis. And, we try to, confirm or deny as much as we can. But as David said, kicking off the meeting, it's really tough to do so. When we have to recognize and we have to be cognizant of the fact that this is a very touchy situation, and any communications we put out too prematurely could affect any ongoing discussions and negotiations. So we're in the same boat. We try to take those rumors as they come in and try to help people understand what the process is. And we try to help guide some of those conversations back to where they should go, instead of just the rumor mill, to try to alleviate people from having elevated expectations. We want to make sure that what gets out to the community is appropriate and measured and in the right time frame. So that's one of the things that's popped up the last couple of weeks. I'll get a lot of texts from folks saying, I heard this and I heard that. And it's hard for me, just for everybody's perspective too, to be able to say, well, I can tell you this or I can tell you that. So we're in the same boat. So I appreciate that concern, Shane. And if you've got folks like that bring those concerns, feel free to pass those on to us. We can kick them up to David. And I've actually talked to Adam St. John about a couple of them just to kind of vet them out. And Adam's had some pretty open communications with us still on that. So it's been a benefit to have that connection with Josie, his executive assistant, and Adam himself. And now, David can help out with a little bit of that too. So, but that has been something that's popping up a lot lately, especially since the job fair. I wanted to try to touch base a little bit with Terry Johns, if Terry was on, to check in a little bit on community services and to find out a little bit more about needs in the community that people feel we haven't been able to address yet, or if there's any glaring gaps in our response. Terry, do you have any information on what people are filtering through to 211 and those types of things?
Yeah, so far calls have been somewhat limited that we can definitely peg to, Verso specifically, though that's not a question that they're asked. Some people automatically disclose that. And I think for the most part, all needs that have been asked about, we've been able to provide information for. I don't anticipate, when we really think about basic needs, when we're thinking about housing, food, some of those things, I don't anticipate that is happening yet, that'll be, somewhere down the road. But just general questions about, kind of just navigating, how do I connect with this program or that program? We've been able to meet any needs that have been requested to this point.
I appreciate that. That's just, one of the concerns we heard from folks at the job fair. They're getting to that point where they're going to start needing a little bit more, direct services. And I think we'll start seeing some of those things popping up October, November, especially as we get closer to the holidays. So I just want to make sure that, everybody's prepared and understands what our role could be to make sure we assist in that. Wanted to check also on the call to see if we had somebody from DWD available. I can see such a list here. I don't know. Is anybody from DWD on the call right now?
This is Tyler Drake from DWD Job Service.
Hey, Tyler. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was trying to scroll through here. So from what I've understood so far from calls to our offices, that the application for unemployment for the folks affected has been going pretty smoothly, actually. I actually had WAOW reach out to me and wonder why folks at Verso were having such good luck with their unemployment, which I kind of threw back on the reporters saying, isn't that a good thing? Yeah. So I didn't know if you could update us on how that has been progressing.
Yeah. Unemployment for Verso folks seems to be running fairly smoothly, as we expected. A lot of them were receiving unemployment at some point this year before the most recent time. We have a couple people at the job center. Job center remains open. A couple people there are taking appointments weekly. Appointments are starting to slow down a little bit, but we anticipate that to go up as you said, we get closer into the fall and winter. We are working with someone in HR from Verso just to make sure that those that are maybe having an issue with unemployment, that they're scheduling a one-on-one follow-up meeting with us, and we can, just see how they're answering the questions. A lot of times it has something to do with how a question is answered. But it sounds like most of the people that are filing for unemployment through Verso are receiving it. So don't change it if it's not broken.
I appreciate that, and I wanted to reach out and thank you guys. I know you're in a transition period over there, and I just wanted to make sure we gave you some thanks to DWD because like I said, when Channel 9 calls wondering why things are going so smoothly, I just thought it was kind of a bizarro situation to have. So thanks to DWD to help us through that. On that same aspect, I wanted to touch base. I know I see Chad's on, and I don't know who else might not be. Todd Benecke's on. I just wanted to touch base on any union issues that are ongoing to make sure that there wasn't anything that we needed to be aware of. So I didn't know if somebody from USW or from Labor Council wanted to give us a brief update.
Give him out, Todd.
Todd, do you have anything?
Chris, do you want to speak to it? Chris is our agent that's involved with them, or I can.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see Chris was there. Go ahead, Chris, if you could.
Oh, hang on. I got to find myself.
You're good to go. You muted yourself, Chris.
Hello?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
this
good
is
to go.
Chris Trickle. Yeah. So we've been working with Verso as far as the effects bargaining, something that the USW folks have already all agreed to.
Yeah.
There's 3 craft locals. Our local obviously is plumbers and pipe fitters, local 434, and then there's the millwrights and the electricians. And unfortunately, those talks came to a stall, and the company withdrew their offer, which is very unfortunate because I got members that are going to be losing their health care at the end of the month, and we're very concerned about that. We're not really sure why the company withdrew their offer, but that's where we're at right now. Thank you.
All right. No, thank you, Chris. And I think that's something that, we should definitely be facilitating and working towards a solution on. So I wanted to make sure that, we put our full support behind getting some agreement together here. So whatever, Verso can do to try to re-facilitate and re-engage and get moving again, it would be pretty important. That was one of my top goals before we got done with the start of the idling, was to make sure that we had most of these in place, and to be at the end of September yet without agreements with everybody is something that's getting a little frustrating, especially here at the legislative level too. So I think that's something that's definitely got to be addressed. I think it's the one glaring hole that we've got yet in this process. Short of somebody purchasing the mill, we still need to make sure everybody's squared away. So I want to make sure that that's a focus point for us too. I also see that Representative Shanklin is on the call as well. I wanted to give her some opportunity to weigh in on any things that she had any concerns or questions or focuses of things that we could work on. Representative Shanklin, are you there?
I'm here. I'm having some difficulty with Microsoft Teams today. It keeps crashing, so I can't guarantee I'll be, sorry, it keeps kicking me in and out. But I think the biggest thing that we were working on was finding out from DWD about that lost wage assistance, which we know they applied for and received, and then the TAA. So I don't have anything new outside of that unless you have any questions for me.
No, I just wanted to see if you had any things that needed to be worked on yet, so I appreciate that. And if you need anything offline, just let me know and we'll work through it.
Sounds good. Same here.
No problem. All right, just kind of going through my list and looking to see where we're at. I think I've covered most of the things we wanted to try to reach out about to make sure that we're looking at both sides of this issue. And I know, when we're in person, we tend to go a little bit longer, but I just want to, again, thank everybody for time here online. And if anybody's got any questions or concerns at this point, be open to any new agenda items for our next meeting. Which looks to be, let me pull up my calendar here. Well, let's leave that open. I don't know if we've got an exact date set. We'll work through that. But as any updates come up, you feel free to let me know. Whatever anybody needs us to work on, we'll work through. If anybody's got any questions, again, like I said, right now, go ahead and throw anything out there. Going once, going twice. All right, thanks everybody for about a half hour with us today. We will keep working through our action items here and we will talk again very soon. And we'll let that be the end of the meeting today. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.